It's Monday in Simpsonville, South Carolina. It's been a beautiful day, but very cool. I believe we got into the lower 50s today, but a beautiful, beautiful day outside. We're studying Islam, and we're also waiting for the Clemson, Alabama game to start. But as we look at Islam, we realize that Muslims are those that follow a religion called Islam, that they believe that Muhammad was the final prophet living around AD 590 to 632. Muhammad, being the final prophet, had spoken based on what he said he got from Gabriel, the archangel, delivered from Allah. After his death, several theologians put together the sayings of Muhammad in a book called the Quran, which they consider to be divine scriptures, directly from God through Gabriel the angel and delivered by Muhammad. While the Quran references the Bible 120 times, it is significantly different. And it is one that refers to Jesus, but not anywhere near as we would see in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John in Christ's life. It does not represent Jesus as being God in the flesh, but rather as a prophet. The people of the Muslim who follow Islam believe there's no personal relationship available with Allah, but they believe that Allah is the only God. They resist very strongly any mention of a God that has multiple gods, and therefore have a hard time with the Holy Trinity of the Christian faith. There are 6 pillars of faith for Muslims: confession that Allah is the only God, alms 2.5% to the poor and to other designated causes, prayer 5 times a day, consolidated often into 3 times a day, and pilgrimage to Mecca, as well as fasting, which is refraining from food, water, and sex during the daylight hours. A possible 6th pillar would be jihad, which can be as broad as spiritual internal battling, that is spiritual warfare, but could also be physical battling with the enemies of Islam. And they believe in a final day of judgment. However, unlike Christianity, they believe that whether you get into paradise or not depends on works and how well you've kept the Quran and its teachings and the 5 pillars. And that your final entrance into paradise will be based on weighing out your good deeds from your bad deeds. And they believe that paradise is a place of not only spiritual pleasure, but it's also a place of sensual pleasure. They believe strongly in a literal hell, and they believe that you're sure to get that if you reject Allah, as reported in the faith of Islam. Judgment Day then is by works, not by grace. They believe that a martyr on behalf of Islam would be guaranteed an entry into paradise. Their view on women is varying greatly between country and country. And you will find that the average Muslim woman is satisfied with her life in the Muslim or Islamic state. However, you will also find that they do not have the same privileges as an American woman would, and particularly in the area of education, employment, inheritance, dress, marriage, birth control, divorce, and justice in the case of sexual crimes against them or any kind of claim against them. That will vary greatly from country to country. It'd be very foolish for us to stereotype every Muslim community with the same set of standards in all of these areas. And so it's very, very difficult to pinpoint exact violations of women's rights, except by community to community comparison. Islam allows polygamy, as many as 4 wives, and there's a holistic view, if you will, by Muslims that other lifestyles, other moral codes greatly offend them, and they believe that Islam is not only a religion, but also the enforcement of moral and ethical causes. Therefore, it's hard for them to separate religion from government. They feel very strongly about avoiding shame and dishonor. Of course, the danger of the holistic view is that they would like to have everybody conform to Islam, even if it's by force. And they want to enforce the rules and regulations of Islam upon all people. That is considerably different than a democratic country such as America, and makes it very difficult for any American to accept that. At the same time, our lifestyle of pure democracy is very difficult for Muslims who follow Islam to accept. So you can see the difficulty in both religions. In the next particular session, I'll try to outline even more clearly the differences between Christianity and Islam, and why I chose to be a Christian, and believing that Jesus died for my sins, and that heaven, the equivalent of paradise, is available to me by the death of Jesus, and the resurrection proving he has the power over death, and the fact that the Bible has been proven through prophecy and fulfillment, and over the finding of incredibly old manuscripts showing how accurate it has been preserved over the years and not corrupted. So I hope that you look forward to seeing that summary session, the next one out, and comparing the two faiths. And I hope that it's brought you a better understanding of Islam and why Muslims follow Islam, and some of the great similarities between the basic tenets of Islam and Christianity, and then the radical differences that appear between the two faiths, and then the supporting information, looking at very impartial writers on the subject to see exactly how much trust or faith we should have in the teachings of the two faiths. It's your thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.